In the last episode of the custom tournament, we had a record-shattering 17 eliminations in round 1. Could it happen again? Welcome to the Junkyard Joust, everybody. I'm Aaron Yonda. Here are the teams. Only 2 of them will be moving on to the final. We've got the Malachi Brothers, Team Beaverworks, 3 Bash Brothers, Sock Hop Slammers, and the Cash Money Boys. Taking a closer look at our teams, this is the Sock Hop Slammers sent in by Indiana Diecast Racing. The Malachi Brothers, sponsored by Arnold's Drive-In. Watch out, Fonz. The Cash Money Boys have a heavy team and some great undercutting potential, and even a ramp. From Beaverworks Diecast Racing, it's Team Beaverworks. This team has a lot of good variety. And here are the 3 Bash Brothers. Looks like each of the Bash Brothers has their own vehicle, plus a couple more. Let's head out to the Junkyard and Joust. Round 1, starting off with the Malachi Brothers 55 Chevy, sponsored by Beaks Busted Barn Finds. Ooh, in true Malachi style, the first Malachi brother just flips over after hitting the track buffer and goes sideways. Not over yet for that vehicle, but that's a rough start. First up for Team Beaverworks, Boxed Beaver, sponsored by Sid from Cybertron. Boxed Beaver knocks the Malachi upright again. Nice recovery. Then Boxed Beaver kind of gets snagged on the track. I had to grind down the sides of the vehicle a little bit to make sure it fit on the track. Looks like maybe a couple more bits need to be trimmed off. BB2 now for the 3 Bash Brothers. Driver, JJ Smooth. JJ Smooth plows the BB2 into the back of the Boxed Beaver, unsticks it, and pushes it up to the front. First up for the Sock Hop Slammers, it's the Anglia Panel Truck Dragster, driven by Josh Miller. A solid punch to the back of BB2, and BB2 is curbside. The Boxed Beaver retains its position. Up for the Cash Money Boys, That Other Girl, sponsored by Chris and Kat's Casa de Chaos. That Other Girl a little front heavy, and the ramp does not quite get into position. Does force that Anglia Dragster, though, up curbside. Malachis are sending down the 52 Hudson, sponsored by Stump's Tree Farm. A pretty light tap by the Hudson, and it manages to set the ramp back up. Anglia Dragster almost pushed off the track, and now that Hudson is going to be taking a flying leap. Now up for Beaverworks, Beaver Hammer 99 grams, sponsored by Sloth's Automotive Sachet and Buffet. Beaver Hammer lives up to its name and knocks that Hudson skyward. Somehow, inexplicably, the Hudson hits the crates, goes up to level 6 on the way there, and then manages to make a recovery. Amazing job there. Unfortunately, Beaver Hammer flips over sideways, but does manage to end the dragster on the way. Looks like that ramp on That Other Girl is in full effect. Muscle Bunny's next up for 3 Bash Brothers. Driver is Karate Joe. Muscle Bunny bounds off the ramp and does not have a good time. Flips over, hits the crates, and tips upside down. But now That Other Girl is curbside, and that ramp might not be as effective. 57 Chevy's up next, driven by Marcus Firegun. The Chevy slams into that ramp, does not take it, but takes the opportunity to get off the track. And now That Other Girl is sideways on the track. And she's gonna have to take a heavy hit from her own teammate Cash Money himself, 166 grams, sponsored by the Miskatonic Automotive Club. And a huge hit by Cash Money, and the ramp buckles and pieces fly off of it, yet somehow it still stays attached. That Other Girl pinned between both vehicles, and BB2 upside down. A huge hit from Cash Money. Up next, 59 Chevy, sponsored by Mark the Music Lover. The Chevy plants itself behind Cash Money, cannot move that giant vehicle. And now that Chevy is going to get undercut by the Beaverari, sponsored by Chemical Knight. The Beaverari gets right under, the Chevy goes up in the air, spins over twice, and lands upside down. The back of that Beaverari flipping up in the air, and stuff is flying everywhere. It might be leftovers from that ramp, I'm not sure. We've got a lot of brothers on the track today. BB3's up next for the 3 Bash Brothers, driven by Baby Richie. And somehow Baby Richie drives underneath the Beaverari, almost gets under Cash Money himself, but can't quite do it. Still takes down the Beaverari, and that is a big takedown. Nice hit. Sock Hop Slammers are sending down a live 55, driven by Kara Miller. Live 55 makes a hit, but then starts to go off the edge, gets curbside, could be dangerous. That other boy's up next, sponsored by Sicken. 129 grams, be interesting to see what the plow on this thing can do. A Live 55 plowed right off the track and yet somehow manages to stay alive, gets flipped over after that nasty hit. That other boy though, so heavy, not able to stay on the track after reaching the line of cars and flips over upside down. Now the Malachi brothers sending down the 57 Cadillac, sponsored by Ellis Wurtenberger. The Cadillac finishes off that other boy and starts to push BB3 more off the track. Now up for Team Beaverworks, Beaver E, sponsored by Judy Collins. Nice undercutting hit from the Beaver E, and it takes out the Cadillac, pushes B3 off the track. Great hit. Here comes Rescue Bunny for the Bash Brothers, driven by Speed Lely. A powerful hit by Speed Lely, and Beaver E is actually broken in half. The car separated into two pieces, completely disasterized. A devastating hit from Rescue Bunny, and that car is in trouble right now. As the rule stands, if the bottom half of the car with the wheels stays alive, that half of the car can come back, but the top half is gone. Here comes Racing Jason in Shoebox for the Sock Hop Slammers. Racing Jason rear ends Rescue Bunny. Rescue Bunny flips over, looks like it's gonna make a graceful recovery, but then bounces and flips upside down. Took a bad bounce off Muscle Bunny. Next up for Cash Money Boys, That Girl, sponsored by Chome. That girl boots Shoebox off the track. Shoebox gets tossed upside down on top of a bunch of other vehicles. That girl locks it in with that ramp in place, and what's left of Beaver E is still on the track, but it could get lifted by that plow. 59 Cadillac, sponsored by Emo Dingo. Cadillac goes right off the ramp. It works flawlessly, and the Cadillac actually looks like it's gonna make a recovery, but again hits Muscle Bunny, makes it to a height of 6 on the way there, and can't quite land it, agonizingly close, but then spins off sideways. Agent Y, sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling for Team Beaverworks. A big heavy car hits the ramp, goes flying all the way down to the crates, makes a bunch of leaps and bounds all over the place, and then uses the Cadillac as a landing spot and makes a recovery. Now that is how you do it when a ramp is in play. BB1's up now for the Bash Brothers, driven by Riot Isaac. BB1 gets some great height off the back of that ramp. Wow, look at that thing go. It makes it all the way up to a height of 7. Highest so far in this match. Doesn't mean anything, it's just for fun, but still, that's pretty impressive that that ramp managed to get that thing up that high. And now Beaver E is starting to get pushed, but manages to stay on the track with what remains of its vehicle. Plymouth Fury now for the Sock Hop Slammers, driven by Dirty Murray. That ramp takes another victim as Dirty Murray flies up and over all the cars on the field. He reaches a 6 on the height bar, not quite the 7 that BB1 attained, but pretty close. Not even a chance of recovery there. The car just lands straight on its head. Final car of this tumultuous round, That Boy for the Cash Money Boys, sponsored by Farty Marty. That boy hits that girl and goes off the ramp, goes all the way up to the front, wipes out, also wipes out that girl. That boy and that girl have just canceled each other out. And that is gonna be tough for the Cash Money Boys. Big loss right there for losing both of those vehicles right on the last car. Well, they've got no one to blame but themselves. This was another crazy round. 16 cars eliminated. Doesn't beat the record, but wow, look at the devastation. This car split in half. The Beaver E is coming back, but only half of it. Round 1 aftermath. Cash Money down to 1. 3 Bash Brothers down to 1. Malachi Brothers and Sock Hop Slammers both down to 2, and Team Beaverworks looking all right at 3, or basically 2.5 cars. We're heading straight into round 2 of this joust. No teams eliminated yet. Agent Y up first for Beaverworks. Agent Y had a spectacular recovery last round. Gets to go down first this time. Randomly determined starting order and randomly determined when the cars go down. Sock Hop Slammers got 2 left, 57 Chevy. The 57 Chevy hits Agent Y at top speed, and the top half of the Chevy comes off completely. Whew, boy, that is 2 cars now that have been almost completely destroyed by this joust. Only half of the Chevy left, but if it's right side up at the end of this round, it's gonna keep going. 55 Chevy now for the Malachi brothers. The 55 Chevy finishes off what's left of the 57 Chevy and then promptly drives off the track and goes right upside down. Nice hit, but you gotta stay on the track, and that's a rough loss for the Malachi. Here comes BB3, the last remaining vehicle for the Bash brothers. The back of Agent Y proves deadly again as BB3 bounces back and just flops off the track sideways. If it stays like that, we are looking at the elimination of one of our teams. Only surviving car for the Cash Money boys, Cash Money himself. It's a big one. Cash Money takes it to the back of Agent Y, but Agent Y is tough. Takes that hit like a champ, goes curbside, but is still going. Now here comes Boxed Beaver for Beaverworks. Cash Money is so heavy that Box Beaver can barely even do anything to it, just pushes it forward a little bit. Agent Y gets almost off the track. Looks like Agent Y might be in good shape to survive here. Alive 55's name very appropriate here. The Chevy completely destroyed. And Alive 55 stays alive so far. Locks it in on the track. Only 2 cars left in the round. One of the Malachi brothers coming down, the 52 Hudson. The Hudson is so light, it doesn't do anything to the cars on the track, just bounces off of Alive 55, but stays locked in, so that's good. And that Hudson's probably safe, because all that's left is the remains of Beaver E. Not gonna do much damage, and no, it does not, but it stays alive, despite barely being a car at all. And that is gonna cap off round 2. It looks like we're gonna lose 3 more cars, and our first team has been eliminated. So much damage. Let's take a look at the aftermath. Our first casualty in this match, the 3 Bash brothers could not hold on. Malachi, Slammers, and Cash Money are down to 1. Team Beaverworks is still looking good at 3. Well, we made it to round 3 this week, so that's something. First up, it's gonna be the car that used to be Beaver E and is now just some wheels. It slides to a halt behind Evil Weevil, can't really do anything. Kind of low to the ground, though. Could be a safe position for this car. We'll see what happens when it takes a hit from Alive 55. Alive 55 pushes into the remaining car of Beaver E, gets under and pushes it upside down. It's hard to tell, but yes, that is upside down. And now those cars are gonna get a big hit, 166 grams of Cash Money himself. Cash Money himself, oh no! Cash Money slides into all the cars, but then bounces back and rolls over. Tries to maintain his balance, but can't quite do it and flips over. Somehow Alive 55 stays on the track and is still alive. 52 Hudson. 52 Hudson stays alive for the Malachi. They needed that, and if I'm not mistaken, looking at that Alive 55, I think that car might be coming apart now, just like its compatriot. Here comes Agent Y. Pretty big hit, 92 grams. Agent Y slams into the Hudson, goes off the back. Nice job there by the Hudson, causing a ramp effect, but it doesn't take out Agent Y, and yep, that car is now coming apart, just like that 57 Chevy. That's 3 cars now that are almost destroyed in this joust, and there's still one left to come down. It's Boxed Beaver for Beaverworks. Boxed Beaver knocks the Hudson off the track. The Hudson tries to stay but can't. Flips and trips on Evil Weevil and goes upside down. And yet somehow Alive 55 still on the track, even though it's broken into pieces. But it stayed right side up, and that is what is important, because that means the Sock Hop Slammers are gonna move on. Taking a quick look at Alive 55, it is definitely coming apart at the seams. How did this happen? Well, it took a pretty big hit there in round 1, and then this hit is what did it in from Cash Money himself. The car just took a beating. Taking a look at our aftermath, Team Beaverworks moving on with 3 cars left. The remnants of Beaver E having actually made a recovery in that last round, and the Sock Hop Slammers team are moving on because of Alive 55. Congrats to our winners, or what's left of them anyway. Interesting to note that all the cars that were destroyed today are on the 2 teams that won. Lucky for them, they will have time to repair those cars as best they can before the final. Wow, last time it was 17 eliminations. This time 3 cars were brutally destroyed. This customs tournament has been wild. I hope you are enjoying it. Thanks everybody who submitted cars for this contest. Really appreciate you being a part of it. We're certainly going to do it again. Don't forget to join the Junkyard Joust Discord and become a patron if you'd like to support this show. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on The Joust.